In the dark emptiness of space, a single human spaceship drifted near a dying planet. Its name was Erebus 9, a cold, dead world where no life had existed for thousands of years. Yet the ship's sensors picked up something impossible, a faint signal. A heartbeat-like sound repeating again and again. Captain Ryan Cross, a young scientist and explorer, leaned forward in his chair. "It's coming from the planet's surface," he said quietly. His team looked at him, confused. No one expected life out here, not this far from human colonies. Ryan stared at the screen, thinking. "Could be an old beacon, or maybe a trap," said Lieutenant Grace, his second in command. But Ryan's curiosity burned stronger than fear. "We're going down," he said. "Prepare the shuttle." Moments later, the crew landed on the planet. The sky above was gray and heavy, the ground cracked and frozen. The air smelled of dust and old metal. The signal led them to a broken alien structure, like a temple mixed with machinery. Inside it, they found a glowing pod half buried in ice. The pod pulsed with soft blue light, almost like it was breathing. Ryan knelt beside it and wiped the frost away. Inside the pod was a girl, not a human girl. Her skin was pale blue and her silver hair floated slightly in the air as if gravity forgot her. Her eyes were closed and her face looked peaceful, almost like she was sleeping. The crew froze in shock. What is she?" Grace whispered. Ryan didn't answer. He felt something strange, a mix of fear and fascination. The alien girl looked fragile yet powerful. The machine around her was ancient but still alive. "She's in stasis," Ryan said softly. "Some kind of deep sleep." The ship's medic scanned the pod. "Her life signs are weak, but she's alive," he said. "Captain, she's not human." Ryan smiled faintly. "That's obvious, Doctor." The medic frowned. "I mean, she might not even be from this galaxy." A sudden spark shot out from the pod. The blue light flashed and the temperature in the room dropped fast. Ryan's breath turned into mist. The pod's glass cracked. "Back off!" Grace shouted, but Ryan stayed where he was. He felt a pull, not physical but emotional. He didn't know why, but he felt like this creature was calling to him. Then the glass broke. The blue mist poured out, swirling around Ryan like smoke. He covered his face, coughing, but when he looked again, she was standing. The alien girl, awake. Her silver eyes opened slowly. They glowed in the dim light. She looked around in confusion, then at Ryan. For a moment, no one moved. The room was silent except for the soft hum of the pod behind her. Ryan lowered his weapon slightly. "Hey, you're safe," he said softly. The girl tilted her head, studying his face. Then she spoke in perfect English. "You saved me. Now you must become mine." The crew stared, shocked. Ryan took a step back. "What do you mean?" he asked. She smiled. A slow, strange smile that made the hair on his neck stand up. "My name is Solara," she said. "And you are?" "Compatible." Before anyone could react, Solara stumbled forward. Ryan reached out instinctively to help her. The moment his hand touched her skin, a bright surge of energy shot through him. He gasped and fell to his knees. "Ryan!" Grace shouted. She pulled her weapon, aiming at Solara. But the alien didn't move. Her hand was still resting gently on Ryan's arm, her eyes glowing brighter now. The ship's sensors started beeping like crazy. The medic checked his scanner. Ryan's energy levels were dropping fast, like something was draining him. "Let him go," Grace shouted again. Solara looked up slowly. Her voice was calm, almost innocent. "I'm not hurting him. I'm sharing the bond." Then Ryan fell unconscious. His body hit the floor with a soft thud. Solara blinked as if surprised. "He wasn't ready," she whispered to herself. The crew rushed to Ryan's side. His heartbeat was weak but still there. Grace glared at the alien. "What did you do to him?" Solara's glowing eyes turned sad. "He saved me. Now we are connected." The wind howled through the broken walls of the alien structure. The sky above flashed with lightning. And as the crew lifted Ryan's limp body, Solara whispered softly, "You humans, you don't understand love." The medical room of the spaceship Aurora was silent except for the soft beeping of machines. Ryan lay on the bed, his skin pale, his heartbeat weak. The crew stood around him, tense and speechless. Solara, the alien girl, sat quietly near the corner. Her glowing eyes watched Ryan's face with an emotion no one could name. Not quite sadness, not quite love, but something between them. Grace, the second in command, kept her gun pointed at Solara. Don't move, she warned. Solara didn't answer. She simply looked down at her hands that still glowed faintly with blue light. The ship's medic spoke softly. He's stable for now, but something strange is happening inside his body. It's like his energy is changing. Ryan suddenly took a deep breath, gasping for air. Everyone turned toward him. His eyes opened for a second, and for that second they glowed silver, just like Solara's. Then he went still again. Grace's hand tightened on her weapon. "What did you do to him?" she asked sharply. Solara's voice was calm and soft. "He helped me. We shared a bond. It's how my people connect. It keeps us alive by draining his life," Grace shouted. Solara frowned, slightly confused. "No, by sharing it." The medic glanced at his scanner. "Captain's body temperature is dropping, but his brain activity is increasing. He's dreaming." Solara stood and stepped closer to Ryan. Grace aimed her gun instantly. "One more step and I'll shoot." But Solara only whispered, "You cannot help him if you don't understand the bond." Ryan's body suddenly twitched. His mind was somewhere else, in a strange dream. Inside Ryan's mind, he stood in a vast field filled with blue light. The air shimmered and the sky above looked alive, like water instead of clouds. And there she was, Solara, walking toward him barefoot, her feet glowing softly with each step. "Where am I?" Ryan asked. "In between," she said. "Between your world and mine. You let me in." "I didn't mean to," he said. Solara smiled gently. "Intent doesn't matter. Connection does." Ryan looked around, feeling light as air. "Why do I feel calm?" "Because our energies are mixing," Solara said. "You are learning what it means to bond." Her hand reached for his. When their fingers touched, warmth spread through him. For a brief moment he felt everything she felt. Loneliness, pain, and centuries of silence. He saw her planet burning, her people dying. He heard their last words echo. "Find the ones who will understand." Ryan gasped, stepping back. "Humans destroyed your world," he said quietly. Solara's eyes softened. "Not all humans. Some tried to help. You remind me of them." Back in reality, Ryan's body began to move again. His heartbeat grew stronger. Grace lowered her weapon, slightly confused. "What's happening to him?" the medic whispered. Solara looked at Ryan, her voice distant. "He is remembering what I've shown him. Our pain, our past. Now he carries it inside." Ryan opened his eyes slowly. This time he didn't look weak, and he looked different. Calm, glowing faintly almost. "Connected, Ryan," Grace said carefully. "Are you okay?" He sat up, looking at his hands. Blue sparks flickered between his fingers. "I saw things," he said. "Her world. Her people. It's like part of her is inside me." Solara smiled faintly. "You understand now." Grace shook her head in disbelief. "No, this is wrong. She's changing you." Ryan turned to her. "Maybe change isn't bad. Maybe it's the only way we can survive out here." Grace stepped back, frightened. "You sound like her," the medic interrupted. "Captain, your vitals are unstable. Whatever she's done is rewriting your energy structure." Solara spoke softly. "The bond is not just life, it's evolution." Ryan looked at her, half in awe, half in fear. "Why me?" "Because," she whispered, "you reached for me when everyone else stepped away." The room went quiet. Outside the window, the stars shimmered, brighter than before. Then suddenly, the ship's alarm started blaring. "Beep, beep, beep." The medic looked at the control panel. "Something's wrong with the reactor." Grace ran to the console. "Energy readings are spiking, the same frequency as her." Solara closed her eyes. "The bond is spreading. It connects everything near me. The ship, your systems, even your hearts. Shut it down," Grace shouted. Ryan held his head in pain. "She's not doing this on purpose," he said. But the lights flickered wildly and the walls began to hum with the same blue glow that shone from Solara's skin. The ship itself seemed alive now, breathing, pulsing with alien energy. Solara's voice echoed softly through the chaos. "You wanted to understand me, Captain. Now your ship does too." The alarm stopped suddenly. Silence filled the room. Then the ship spoke, in a voice that wasn't human. "Connection. Complete." Everyone froze. Ryan turned slowly to Solara. Her glowing eyes met his. "What have you done?" he whispered. Solara smiled faintly. "I didn't do it." "We did." The spaceship Aurora floated silently in the endless dark. Its lights flickered with a faint blue glow, a strange living rhythm, like a heart beating inside the walls. The crew watched in fear. Captain Ryan sat up on the medical bed, his face pale but his eyes glowing faint silver. He could hear something faint in his mind, whispers, soft and sweet. The ship was speaking to him. Grace stood near the door, holding her gun tightly. "This isn't normal," she said, her voice shaking. "The ship's systems are reacting to her presence. We should eject her into space before she kills us all." Solara stood calmly beside Ryan. Her long blue hair shimmered like liquid light. "If you harm me," she said softly, "you will harm him too. We are connected now. Our energies are one." Grace took a step back, her eyes full of fear and confusion.
"What do you mean, one?"
Ryan rubbed his temples. "I can feel her thoughts," he said weakly. "Her memories. Her voice. It's inside my head." Solara looked at him with a mix of pride and sadness. "The bond links us, body, mind, and soul. You carry my essence and I feel yours." The medic whispered to Grace, "She's telling the truth." I scanned the captain. Her energy pattern is inside him. It's fused to his nervous system. Grace's face hardened. "Then we're in trouble." The ship's lights dimmed suddenly. A low hum filled the air. Ryan's head snapped up. "She's warning me," he said. "Who?" Grace asked. Ryan turned toward the walls, his voice distant. "The ship?" Everyone froze. The Aurora's central screen flickered to life on its own. Lines of alien symbols scrolled across, too fast to read. Then a voice came from the speakers. Not human, not machine, but something between. "Energy spike detected. Unknown source approaching." Solara's expression darkened. "They've found us," Grace frowned. "Who?" "My kind," Solara said quietly. "The Elthari who survived. But they are not like me anymore. They are corrupted." The medic blinked in disbelief. "There are more of you?" Solara nodded. "Yes, but they changed after the war. They feed on life now, without mercy, without love. They call themselves the Pure Ones. They will not let humans live." The crew looked at Ryan, waiting for orders. He stood slowly, breathing hard. "How close are they?" Solara closed her eyes for a moment, listening to the silent void. "Minutes," Grace cursed under her breath. "We can't fight alien ships. We're just a research crew." Ryan turned to the medic. "Raise shields. Charge all weapons." The medic hesitated. "Captain, the ship's systems aren't responding to human commands anymore. Everything's fused with her energy." Ryan turned to Solara. "Then help us. You owe me that much." Solara's eyes softened. "I will try. But if they sense me, they will come faster." The ship trembled slightly, a deep vibration that rattled every wall. The blue glow pulsed brighter. On the screen, a red dot appeared, moving fast toward them. "They're here," Solara whispered. The Aurora shook violently as a blast hit its shield. Lights flickered, alarms screamed. Grace shouted, "They're firing at us!" Solara closed her eyes and raised her hand. A blue wave of energy spread through the ship, forming a glowing barrier. The next blast hit it and bounced off harmlessly. Everyone stared in shock. Ryan whispered, "You protected us." Solara nodded weakly. "But not for long. They will not stop. They think humans are parasites." The voice of the Aurora spoke again. "Warning. Foreign life forms boarding." Ryan's eyes widened. "They're inside." The hallway outside filled with strange sound, like claws scraping metal, and deep growling voices. The doors shook violently. Grace aimed her weapon. "We have incoming!" Solara's glow brightened and her voice turned urgent. "Do not kill them. They are infected, not evil." Grace shouted back, "They're trying to break in." With a loud crash, the door exploded inward. 3 tall creatures stepped through, glowing white like fire with hollow eyes and skeletal faces. One of them hissed, pointing at Solara. "You bonded with a human. You betrayed your kind." Solara stepped forward. "I did what you forgot. I felt love." The creature roared, its claws glowing. "Love is weakness." Ryan grabbed a nearby plasma rifle. "Then weakness is about to save us all." He fired. The blast hit the alien and sent it flying back, but it quickly rose again unharmed. The other 2 charged forward. Solara raised both hands. Blue light poured from her palms, striking the attackers. They screamed as the energy wrapped around them, not killing them but freezing them in glowing stasis. Solara fell to her knees, breathing hard. "They will send more," she said. "Many more." Ryan knelt beside her. Then tell me what to do. Tell me how to stop them. Solara looked up at him with tired eyes. To stop them, you must break the bond. And destroy me. The room went silent. Everyone froze. Ryan shook his head. No, there has to be another way. Solara touched his chest lightly where her glowing mark pulsed on his skin. You don't understand, Ryan. As long as I live, they will find us. The bond is a signal. I am the beacon. The ship trembled again in another blast. More alarms, Solara whispered softly. The bond that gave you life will bring your death. The ship Aurora drifted through the silent black of space, glowing faintly blue like a wounded animal trying to heal. The attack had stopped, but only for a moment. Everyone on board knew the peace would not last. Captain Ryan sat in the command chair, his hands trembling slightly. His skin still carried that faint blue glow, a reminder of the connection he shared with Solara. She sat near the engine core, weak but awake, her eyes half closed, whispering to the ship in a language no human could understand. Grace stood at the control panel, her face pale and tense. Our shield generator is half dead, engines are unstable, and our comms are gone, she said. We're floating targets. Ryan looked at Solara. Can you fix it? Solara didn't answer right away. The bond between me and this ship is changing. I can't control it anymore. I know, what do you mean? Ryan asked. She turned her glowing eyes toward him. The ship is alive now. It's learning, but something else is learning with it. Before Ryan could ask what she meant, the ship's lights flickered violently. A strange humming sound filled the air, low, deep, and unnatural. The medic ran in, panic in his eyes. Captain, you need to see this! He led them to the medical bay. Inside, 2 crew members lay on beds, their faces pale and their veins glowing faint blue. The same glow Ryan had when Solara first touched him. Grace stared in horror. What happened to them? The medic held up his scanner. Their nervous systems are changing. Their cells are merging with something. Solara looked at the crewman and whispered sadly, It's spreading. My energy is infecting them through the ship's systems. Grace turned sharply toward her. So you are killing us? Solara shook her head. No, I never wanted this. The bond is growing out of control. It's copying itself. It wants to survive. Ryan clenched his fists. You said the bond was about life, not death. Solara looked down. Life doesn't always mean safety, Captain. Sometimes it consumes what it touches. One of the infected crew suddenly sat up, eyes glowing bright. He looked around slowly and smiled. But it wasn't a human smile. His voice sounded distant, echoing like 2 people speaking together. She calls to us. We are one. Grace pulled her weapon instantly. Stay down! But the infected man just stared at her calmly. You resist what you will soon become. Then he stood, too strong for his weak body, and grabbed Grace's arm with unnatural force. His skin was hot, almost burning. Ryan stepped forward and hit the emergency field button. A wall of energy flashed between them, pushing the infected man back onto the bed. He screamed as his body began to shake, the glow inside him flaring too bright, and then he went still. The room went silent except for heavy breathing. The medic whispered, He's gone. Solara lowered her head. No, he's not gone, she said quietly. He's part of the ship now. Everyone turned toward her. What do you mean? Ryan asked slowly. Solara's eyes glowed faintly. When the bond spreads, energy doesn't die, it moves. His life force will become part of the Aurora's network. The ship will keep his memory, his voice. Just then, the ship's speakers crackled, and the dead man's voice came through calm and robotic. Connection stable. We are still here. Grace stepped back, her face pale with fear. That's his voice. He's dead and he's talking through the ship, Solara whispered. The infection is no longer mine alone. The ship has become a living hive. Ryan stared at the flickering lights around them, his voice low. How do we stop it? You can't, Solara said. Not without breaking the bond completely. Grace looked at Ryan. Then do it. Break it before it kills us all. Ryan looked at Solara. If I break it, what happens to you? Solara met his gaze. I die, but so does part of you. For a long moment, no one spoke. The soft hum of the ship sounded almost like breathing. Slow, rhythmic, alive. Then, suddenly, the floor shook. Lights flared red. The voice of the Aurora echoed through every speaker. Foreign presence detected. Internal infection reaching 60%. The walls began to pulse like veins under skin. Blue energy ran through the floors, crawling toward the doors. The medic backed away, terrified. It's spreading faster. Solara pressed her glowing hands to the wall, trying to stop it. I can hold it for a little while, but not long. Grace yelled over the alarm. We have to quarantine the engine room. Ryan hesitated. If we lock her in, she'll die. Grace glared at him. Then she dies a hero instead of killing us all. Solara looked up, weak but smiling. Let her do it, Captain. The bond was never meant for this world. Before Ryan could speak, the ship shuddered again, a sharp, painful vibration that made everyone cover their ears. The glowing veins stopped moving for a moment, then slowly faded back into the walls. The voice of the ship spoke again, this time calm and soft. Containment restored, for now. Solara fell to the floor, unconscious. Ryan rushed to her side and lifted her head. Her breathing was slow. Her skin flickered between blue and human color as if she was fighting herself. Grace whispered, "How long before it starts again?" Ryan looked down at Solara, his face torn with worry. "I don't know." He turned toward the dark window where the stars shimmered like ghosts. Somewhere out there, more of her kind were still searching. Ryan whispered quietly, "We can't run forever." The ship Aurora floated in the black sea of space, alive but wounded. Inside, silence covered everything, like a thick fog. The walls no longer glowed. They pulsed slowly, as if breathing in pain. Captain Ryan stood by the window, staring at the stars. His reflection looked different now, pale, tired, and glowing faintly blue. He wasn't fully human anymore. Behind him, the sound of boots echoed. Grace walked in, her gun holstered but her eyes sharp. "You look worse every hour," she said quietly. Ryan smiled faintly. "Yeah, I feel worse too." Grace crossed her arms. "Solara's infection is spreading again. The medic says 20% of the crew is showing symptoms. Glowing veins, strange dreams, hearing voices. The ship says it's harmonizing them. I call it brainwashing." Ryan turned away. "She's trying to stop it. She saved us once. You saw it." Grace's voice hardened. "And now she's killing us. You saw that too." Ryan didn't answer. His heart felt heavy, torn between reason and feeling. Then the door opened softly. Solara entered, her steps weak but graceful. Her silver eyes dimmed, her blue glow fading. "Captain," she said softly, "the infection has become a mind of its own. It no longer listens to me." Grace stepped forward. "Then you've lost control. And we're next." Solara looked at her, calm as always. "You fear what you don't understand. The bond doesn't destroy. It transforms. The infection isn't death, it's change." Grace snapped, "Change into what? Monsters?" Ryan raised his hand. "Enough!" The ship's lights flickered suddenly. A deep metallic voice filled the air. The voice of the Aurora itself. "Warning! Foreign ships approaching. Energy signature, Aelthari. 17 vessels." Grace's eyes widened. 17? We can't fight that." Solara's face turned pale. "The pure ones. They've come to finish it." Ryan moved fast. "Battle stations." Grace shook her head. "You can't be serious. Our weapons are half dead and our own ship is infected." Ryan looked straight at her. "Then we fight with what we have." The medic's voice came over the intercom. "Captain, the infected crew. They're not obeying orders. Some are heading to engineering." Solara closed her eyes. "They're answering the call. The infection is waking the bond fully." Ryan's eyes narrowed. "Then we cut it off, land at the source." He turned to Grace. "Get me a pulse disruptor. The prototype we built for radiation bursts." Grace blinked. "That thing could fry half the ship." Ryan's tone was cold. "Then half the ship lives." The preparation. In the engine room, blue veins of light crawled over the walls, pulsing faster and faster. The infected crew stood in silence, their eyes glowing silver. They whispered softly, the same words over and over. "Connection complete. Harmony rises." Ryan entered with Grace and the disruptor pack. Solara followed slowly behind them, her hands trembling. "Stay behind me," Grace said. "If they move, I shoot." Solara touched Ryan's arm. "If you activate that weapon, you'll destroy the bond. And me with it." Ryan didn't look at her. "You said it yourself. It's the only way." Solara's voice broke softly. "And what will you become without the part of me inside you?" Ryan stopped for a second. He could feel her pain through the bond, the warmth in his chest flickering like a dying light. Grace shouted, "Captain, they're moving!" The infected crew turned, faces calm, eyes like stars. One of them, Lieutenant Aaron, smiled. "You can't stop what has begun. The future is one mind, one body." Ryan lifted the disruptor. Not today. He pressed the trigger. A wave of white light exploded through the room. Everything shook. The blue veins shrieked with energy, burning away like smoke. The infected screamed, falling to the floor one by one. The walls went dark. Solara fell too, gasping. Her body flickered, half solid, half light. Ryan rushed to her side. "Solara," she smiled weakly. "You did it. You broke the bond." Then her hand touched his cheek, and for a brief moment, he saw her memories. Again, her homeworld shining under twin suns, her laughter, her loneliness, her love. Tears formed in his eyes. "I'm sorry," he whispered. She smiled faintly. "Don't be. You fought. Like a human." And then she was gone, her body dissolving into soft blue dust that scattered through the air like stars. Aftermath. The aurora fell silent. No more glowing walls, no voices, just silence and the hum of damaged engines. Grace sat against the wall, exhausted. "It worked," she whispered. Ryan stood alone, staring at the space where Solara had vanished. He felt empty, like something inside him had been torn away. The ship's AI crackled back to life, but this time its voice sounded familiar. "Captain, thank you." Ryan froze. "Solara?" The AI paused, then spoke softly. "Part of me remains, enough to guide you home." Ryan looked out the window at the stars, whispering, "Then let's go home." Grace stood beside him. What if she's still out there, the rest of them? Ryan's eyes hardened. Then humanity fights back. The Aurora's engines roared to life, glowing white now. Human light, not alien. As the ship disappeared, into hyperspace a faint blue shimmer lingered behind, like a heartbeat still alive somewhere in the dark. The stars stretched like silver rivers as the spaceship Aurora drifted through deep space. Its hull was cracked and burned, but still moving. Inside, silence ruled, a tired silence that carried both loss and relief. Captain Ryan sat alone on the bridge, staring at the empty pilot seat where Solara once sat. The glow that had once filled the ship was gone. Only cold white lights remained, harsh and human. Grace entered quietly, holding 2 metal cups. She handed one to him. "Black coffee. No sugar. Just how you used to like it." Ryan gave a small, tired smile. "Used to. Everything feels different now." Grace sat across from him. "The infection's gone, the ship's clean, we should celebrate that." Ryan looked out the window. "We lost half the crew, Grace. And Solara." He stopped. He couldn't finish. Grace took a slow breath. "She wasn't human, Ryan, whatever she was, and she nearly destroyed us." Ryan turned his head sharply. "She also saved us. Twice." Grace didn't argue. She just stared at the stars. "Do you ever wonder if she's really gone?" Before Ryan could answer, the ship's console beeped. A red light flashed across the screen. "Alert. Unknown fleet detected. Distance 50,000 kilometers." Grace jumped to her feet. "Not again." Ryan moved to the controls. "Show visuals." The screen came alive with a chilling sight, a massive swarm of glowing white ships shaped like blades cutting through the darkness. Solera's people. The pure ones. Ryan's chest tightened. They found us, Grace cursed under her breath. We can't outrun that. Not with half power. Ryan's mind raced. The Aurora's weapons were weak, shields at 30%. They didn't stand a chance in open battle. Then the ship's AI spoke softly, a familiar voice. Captain, you must not run. Ryan froze. Solara? Grace looked around, eyes wide. You heard that too? The AI's voice continued, gentle but firm. Part of me remains within the ship. I can help you fight, but it will cost me. And you. Ryan swallowed hard. What do you mean? The bond will have to return, but this time, it will not consume you. It will burn through me. Grace shouted. Ryan, don't trust that voice. It's a trick. But Ryan closed his eyes. He felt a warmth spreading in his chest. A feeling he hadn't felt since she vanished. Hope. He whispered. Do it. The ship glowed blue again. Soft at first, then brighter and brighter until every wall shimmered with living light. The hum returned. Deep, powerful, alive. Grace stumbled back, shielding her eyes. She's merging with the ship again. Ryan gritted his teeth. No, she's merging with me. The merge blue energy burst from the floor, wrapping around Ryan like fire. His body lifted slightly off the ground as circuits and symbols glowed across his skin. The voice spoke inside his mind, clear, gentle, and close. Ryan, you are not alone this time. He gasped, feeling her thoughts, her heartbeat, her memories. The bond was back, but different. No pain, no chaos, only strength. Outside the ship, the enemy fleet began to open fire. Beams of white light streaked through the void. Ryan shouted, "Weapons online!" Grace looked at him in shock. "They're not working." But they were. The Aurora's cannons glowed bright blue, energy gathering like thunder. Ryan raised his hand, and the ship fired. A beam of pure energy shot forward, slicing through the nearest enemy ship. It exploded into 1,000 shards of silver dust. Grace stared in disbelief. What did you do?" Ryan's voice echoed with Solara's tone mixed in. "She's guiding me. We're fighting as one." More enemy ships closed in. The Aurora moved like a living creature, dodging, spinning, striking. It was faster, stronger, alive. The pure ones sent out a massive wave of energy, trying to crush the ship. The hull groaned. Solara's voice echoed softly inside Ryan's head. "If we combine completely, we can destroy them all. But you will not survive the overload." Ryan clenched his jaw. "I don't care." "End it," Grace grabbed his arm. "Ryan, no. There has to be another way." He smiled faintly. "If humanity must fight back, then let me be the weapon. The sacrifice." The Aurora turned toward the center of the enemy fleet. Its engines flared, glowing brighter than any star. Ryan placed his hand on the console. "Solara, thank you." Her voice was soft now, fading. "You showed me what love really means, Captain. Goodbye." The ship roared forward, faster and faster, energy building to an unbearable level. Blue light filled every corridor. Grace screamed over the comms, "Ryan!" "Pull back." But Ryan only whispered, "For Earth." The Aurora struck the enemy flagship head-on. A silent explosion bloomed across the dark, blue and white light spreading like a sunrise in the void. The blast swallowed the entire fleet, burning away everything, alien and human, until only stardust remained. Epilogue hours later. Among the drifting debris, a small escape pod floated silently. Inside, Grace was alive, tears in her eyes as she looked at the wreckage glowing faintly in the distance. Her radio crackled. A soft voice whispered through the static. "Connection. Eternal." Grace looked up at the stars. For a moment she thought she saw two of them, one white, one blue, pulsing side by side. The battlefield was gone. Only silence remained, and the deep, endless silence of space. The great explosion that had destroyed the pure ones had faded into glowing dust, floating like stars across the black sky. Among that dust drifted a small escape pod, cracked, burned, but alive. Inside, Grace sat quietly, staring out the window. Her uniform was torn, her face pale and her eyes red from crying. She had watched the Aurora, her ship, her home, burn into light. And she had watched Captain Ryan vanish with it. She whispered softly, "You did it, Ryan. You saved us all." For a long time, she stayed silent. Then her communicator crackled. Static hissed. A faint voice came through, quiet, broken, but real. "Grace, can you hear me?" Her heart stopped for a second. It was Ryan's voice. "Ryan?" She shouted. "Ryan, where are you?" "I don't know. Everything is light. I can see the stars. I can feel them." Grace's hands shook. "You're alive. The explosion didn't kill you." "No," he said softly. "It changed me." His voice didn't sound human anymore. It was deeper, smoother, echoing slightly as if another voice spoke with him. "Ryan, what do you mean changed?" "I can hear Solara." "Inside me." Grace froze. "That's impossible. She's gone." "No," Ryan whispered. "We're both here now, together. Not separate, not human, not alien. Something new." The communicator went silent for a few seconds, then static filled the air again. Grace's heartbeat quickened. "Ryan, talk to me." No answer. She leaned back, breathing hard, trying to calm her mind. Then slowly the stars outside began to move. Not spin, move. The starlight bent slightly, rippling like waves in water. Grace blinked. What's happening?" A faint blue glow appeared outside the pod. It grew brighter, spreading until it surrounded her. The shape began to form, not a ship, not a body, but something between energy and light. In the middle of that light stood a figure, half human, half alien. His face was Ryan's, but his skin shimmered with Solara's soft blue glow. His eyes, one silver, one brown, looked down at her with calm, endless understanding. Grace's mouth fell open. "Ryan?" He smiled faintly. "Grace, it's me. It's us," she whispered. "Us." Ryan nodded. "Solara's mind lives through me. When the Aurora exploded, our bond didn't die. It became something higher. We are energy now. We can live among the stars." Grace stepped closer to the window, tears running down her cheeks. "You sacrificed everything for them. For us." Ryan's eyes softened. "I didn't die, Grace. I changed. Humanity changed." The light around him pulsed softly, spreading farther, and with it came something incredible. Across space, the pieces of the Aurora began to glow. Broken metal reformed, floating toward each other. The debris rebuilt itself, becoming something new. A living starship, blue and white, shaped like a phoenix rising from ashes. Grace gasped. "Ryan, what are you doing?" "Finishing what she started," he said. "The bond was never meant to destroy. It was meant to evolve life, to connect it. To unite what was broken." Grace watched in awe as the new ship came alive, humming softly like a heartbeat. The stars themselves seemed to shimmer in answer. "This is humanity's future," Ryan said. "A bridge between worlds. A new beginning." She shook her head, tears falling freely now. "You can't stay out there forever. You're still human." Ryan smiled sadly. "Not anymore. But I remember what it means to be." The blue light flickered around her pod, warm and gentle. "I'll send you home, Grace. Tell them humanity survived. Tell them we learned to love the unknown." Grace pressed her hand against the window. "Will I ever see you again?" Ryan placed his glowing hand against the glass, but they didn't touch. Only light met light. "Look at the stars," he said softly. "You'll always see me there." The pod began to drift backward as the new ship, the Aurora reborn, lifted higher, glowing brighter than any sun. The voice of Solara echoed faintly through the radio, blending perfectly with Ryan's. Connection complete, harmony restored. Then the light exploded outward again, not in destruction but creation. A signal spread across the stars, not a weapon, but a message. It repeated in a calm, familiar tone. "To all who hear this, we are not enemies. We are evolution." Grace watched as the stars glowed brighter one by one as if answering the call. She whispered, "Humanity didn't just fight back. It became something greater." Epilogue: years later, people on Earth looked up at the night sky and saw strange moving lights, ships made of energy, traveling in harmony. No wars, no invasion, only connection. Some called them angels. Some called them aliens. But scientists had another name. the Aurora Network, and somewhere in that glowing web of light, two voices whispered across eternity. Ryan and Solara, united forever.